What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Welcome to another episode of how to wander through the capital maze we call America Incorporated. Yes, people. Good evening. This is for the audience of the secured party creditors, the first-time viewers, and the agents who would like to stop both of them. Yes, people. In my previous videos, I was basically talking about how the discharge process is supposed to be assessed first. Now, I walked through some court, I walked through some personal examples, but primarily, if you want to know more about secure transactions, you should probably get your UCC book that talks about secure transactions, or research Article 9 in accordance to the superior security interest, and you'll see exactly what's going on. Now, we are far along enough in the series to know what's in a number, what the social is, the economic status of the commercial status, I should say, of the bankrupt United States, and that the system that we live in now is operating in deficit and has always operated in deficit since 1933. Since March 9th, 1933. And people don't realize this, but these are hard facts that when I explain this to people, they be like, well, what do you mean? Especially certain people in the introductory sense. They're like, well, you know the U.S. is bankrupt, right? They say, well, they print money. We have money and all this. There is no we, okay? Let's get it straight. United States is a private corporation domiciled in DC corporate venue, 10 Mile Square. In and of itself, it is a private venue that extends debt to all of its citizenry. It's sort of like an illegitimate parent wanting to take custody of someone else's children. That's what America is. And all the responsibilities of the illegitimate parent they want to put on the child, even though the child is totally unaware of what's going on. That's America. And people have such faith in this system. The system, as you know it, the fiscal policy of the system is bankrupt. It's running in deficit. It has been, and it will continue to do that because it's been dissolved. United States government, as you know it, from the D.C. Organic Act of 1861, has dissolved lawful government. So what you know now as legal government is not lawful in and of itself. If you doubt what I'm saying, look up the definition between lawful and legal, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying is very true. Get your Black's Law Dictionary if you don't have one. Because, the internet, Googling things, they're never really going to give you the meat of it all. So that's one of the reasons why I tell people, grab y'all some material. Don't just rely on Google, because Google is not God, okay? What you have to realize also, before I proceed with the context of the conversation, is that Google only gives you popular search query information. It doesn't give you the facts. Just because you Google something and the first thing that comes up, does not mean it's accurate. You have to start researching and studying these things. Now, back to the insolvency process that United States has so cleverly manipulated amongst its people. In this system, people are used as collateral, whether you believe it or not. Some of you people believe that you're free, Some people know damn well that they're not free in the sense of self-determination, because that's the idea of the capitalist socialist structure, to kill the determination of a society and to basically keep them dependent upon the otherwise insolvent system. Now, what you also must understand is that this system creates liabilities as it goes. It can only create debt. It cannot create a solution to a debt. However, whether it's through taxes, whether it's through court charges, whether it's through, third-party debt, whether it's through educational debt, it's all debt, right? So now the people who are considered collateral, who are now considered property, shadow property of a bankrupt corporation, it is your job to learn about this process, and it is your job to apply the process in order for you to minimize the debt. You ever heard the saying, it's easy to get in trouble, but it's hard to get out? That's America Incorporated. And until you learn how to be financially responsible in regards to the terminology and the legalese that's used against us on the private side of public law, then we're never going to come out of our situation. Now, those people, individuals, entities, whoever out there in the world who have used these processes, they know exactly what I'm saying is very true. And apart from research and discipline and application, it's going to also take some assertiveness too. You know, you can't be quote unquote soft. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very hard nosed with these people because they're out to keep the populace debt laden, to keep the populace entrenched in economic turmoil. As I said in a previous video, which I took down because I want to do it again, was basically that there's an economic warfare, you know, that has been placed amongst the populace of American people, whether they believe it or not. And it's also known as the silent war. And we look at it in a sense of overall sense that war has to do with just outright overt bombing and killing. No, you can keep waging a silent war amongst the populace of people by keeping them ignorant of finances, keeping them ignorant of the literary terms, keeping control of their language, and control of the actual concept of real history. That's how you wage war on generations and generations of people. Because ever since they pre-approved the war powers for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, March 9th, 1933, it was already a hidden agenda to basically keep this thing going. And the thing is, a lot of people have now, at more time than any time, to become aware of the financial practices and learn about discharge, and also realizing that you have to start reducing debt in your life too. See, debt is bigger than just dollar signs or negative or anything in regards to an accounting. Debt is it's a social mechanism that is used to stifle another individual's determination. See, this whole thing that happened with the COVID process and all this stuff that was going on back then, you have to realize that the objective really was economic destabilization. It wasn't about the whole ideology of the pandemic. That was just the overt, you know, cause of basically problem, reaction, solution scenario. And we have to understand that more people lost jobs, homes, property, underneath the guise of an epidemic. More people suffered economically. More businesses were shut down because of the lack of contact or participation on behalf of people. And this is a very significant thing that we have to understand, because as it was presented as one way or one thing, really something else was taking place too. And that's the thing that we have to be really sharp about when it comes to this. More people have been entrenched with debt and dependent upon the system to give them the scraps, you know what I'm saying, and bail out huge corporate interests, you know what I'm saying. And this is the truth. You know, the objective of that is to destabilize the determination of the middle and working class people, and to create a gulf between the capitalist system, which totally sucked up all the resources and played along with the whole pandemic, and left the average working person, or what they call the proletariat in certain definitions, to basically fend for themselves. You know, your government tell you're only worth $1,200 for a 365-day period, plus until stimulus payments start coming again. Notice the word stimulus, because there was the economic stagnation. So a lot of people at this time were financially illiterate, and they didn't really know what to do. They didn't have an out. And see, this is the reason why they want to suppress this type of information at every angle, because even though what I'm saying is not illegal, you have to realize that the structure in and of itself does not want critically thinking people. It does not want people to think for themselves. It wants them dependent. It wants them hopeless. It wants them crippled. Now, if you desire, or those who do desire to practice their sovereignty, then you know exactly what I'm saying is very true, because you get fed up. It's just enough's enough. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it's all about property grab. It's all about taking from the American populace. While on the other hand, start all these social conflagrations to keep you ignorant of the bigger agenda. Let's keep you focused on issues of race. Let's keep you focused on issues of powerless politics. Let's keep you focused on issues of beliefs and sexuality and so forth. Because as long as you're focused on all of that, oh yeah, let's throw the economic stress factors in, like you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Let's throw that in there too. You'll never have time to figure out exactly what is going on behind the scenes. That's why this channel is dedicated to people who identify with this type of knowledge. Now, if this is your beginning stages and you just stumbled upon this channel, fine. If you're an agent, you already know what I'm saying is true, because I provide all the proof and evidence and receipts. You know what I'm saying is true. Now, for the secure party creditors, we're going to keep this thing rolling. You know what I'm saying? And this is just an awareness factor for right now. And it's basically an introductory premise to just let people know, like, your job is to reduce the debt. You're not here to accumulate property. I know in the beginning, a lot of people were misled, especially by disinformation agents, that there was some way you can get all this money back from the government and so forth and so on. No. You could use site drafts. No. You can route specific instruments to the Treasury. No, not on my channel. I know that these informations have been put out there to mislead people. And that's the reason why a lot of people have failed or worse, have suffered some type of legal consequence, because they did not understand the concept of the reduction of the debt. Now, here's another thing. Just like recently with the PPP loans and all this other stuff that they put out there to basically bait and switch, you know what I'm saying? You have to be aware, don't chase the cheese. You see what I'm saying? The only way you can become freedom in yourself is to be determinative about what you ingest knowledge-wise. If you're not aware of what you're ingesting knowledge-wise, or you're not ingesting anything at all, then please do not expect to change. Don't expect to change at all. You will find out sooner or later that you're going to either get better at things in life, or you're going to get worse. And it takes time, it takes patience, but I think that even in the beginning stages of when I first began this whole thing, you know, you fall upon mistakes too. And in order for you to really learn, you have to have first had went through those mistakes in order for you to adjust, you know, to be able to deal with certain types of pressure. And I'm glad I didn't like what I went through yesteryear, but I'm glad I did, because it gave me more sense of a focus to be determined on staying on the right track when it comes to reducing the debt. Now, another thing is, a lot of people also come to this knowledge, like they want instantaneous results. Let me tell y'all people something, and I will say it again, and I will continue saying it. This is not an overnight thing. This is something that is going to take time, and is going to be something, if you're really willing enough, that you will involve yourself with the rest of your life. But it's a great journey. It's a great fucking journey. It's a great journey. Oh man, I love the opposition. You know, that lets me know I'm doing something right. Now, when I start learning about different things and start intermingling them all together, and it all starts to make sense, because on my channel, it's not so much just about paperwork, documentation, paperwork. No, you mix history, you mix a lot of things, because you have to realize you have to not be so one-track minded on the subject, because you have to really assess how you got in the situation in the first place. You know, this stuff didn't happen overnight, so if you want an overnight result, well, I'm sorry. You know, other people might convince you that it's overnight, but this stuff takes time. Just processing documentations and sitting down and typing up your documentations and so forth, that takes time. It does. Now, if time is something you don't have, then I am sorry. This is not for you. This just simply isn't. And it's not going to work. You know, I would be lying to you if I told you that this stuff happens quickly. No, it's over a series of time. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's just because it takes time for you to assess your situations and go about them the right way. But remember, always keeping in mind, your job is to reduce the debt. You know, that's your job. Your job is to not increase the debt. Don't add to the problem. You reduce the problem. You know, and this is even on a spiritual, physical, and mental level, and metaphysical level. You have to reduce the debt. You can't compile debt upon debt. You must reduce it. And that's what this video is dedicated to, reaching out to those people so their understanding will be corrected in regards to debt and what debt is. Now, debt by expenses is another thing. Now, debt by government imposition is totally another thing too. And your job and your research is to study to differentiate between what's what. You know? If indeed you don't have that capacity, please shut this video off and live your life. If you think someone's going to be able to do this stuff for you, please shut this video off and move on through life. But the object is to assess the material and to use the material and research the material so you can further progress on your own. You know? Period. You got to put in the work. If you're not willing to put in the work, then I'm just entertainment for you. Or anybody else that I like on these channels is just entertainment for you. Because if you're not really willing to assess what it is that you need to fix in your life or the lives of those who are dependent upon you, then you're really wasting your time. You know? Go join the social confusion gallery of the wanderers and the walking dead, and you know, go get your Fauci ouchie and you'll be all right. It's what it is. But y'all stay tuned for the next upload. And agents, you know what it is. Hey, it's where we stand, people. Your job, in closing, is to reduce the debt. Don't make more, take it away. Take care, y'all. Peace.